Have you thought about how cool it would be to use your life experiences, your knowledge, and your expertise to write a book, share it with your friends and your family, and then be able to generate revenue with that book in this year? Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't you like to give a gift from your heart next holiday season? Wouldn't it be a great accomplishment if you could write a book and share it with the world? Help other people learn from your experiences and your knowledge? I think it would be cool, and I'm challenging you to do it. I'd love to hear if you're going to take this challenge. And I'd like to hear what you're going to write about, perhaps what the title of your book might be, even if you have any questions or ideas. I'm working on a video series right now. If you saw my last two posts, you may have saw the first one was the benefits of writing a book. There are many benefits to writing a book. It helps other people, helps yourself, self-reflection, raises your credibility, raises your authority. You can generate revenue. You can have fun doing it. And it's a great thing to record your life and be able to share with your friends, family, etc. A lot of great benefits. The next series video that I did was sharing my challenges and successes writing my first book, my first co-authored book, Amplify Your Business, The Rockstar Professional's Guide to Marketing Success. It was a doozy, and it was a long time coming. I had tried to write books in my past, had no success with it, and recently wrote my first book, and I'm going to be writing another this year. I hope you will be writing one too. If you've already written one, please feel free to share your book URL in the comments. I'd love to be able to share it with my friends and family. And today what I'm going to be talking about is the first steps that you're going to need to take in order to create and draft your revenue generating book here in 2017. And for the people who are wanting to take and go a little bit hard edge, someone give me a like, thank you. I'm actually developing a program that will help you do this in 90 days. And it's going to be really cool, but I'm in the middle of creating that right now. I'm working on a training that I'm going to be giving to Toastmasters International's Leadership Institute this weekend down in Orlando, and then another Leadership Institute in early February in Jacksonville, Florida. If you haven't checked out Toastmasters yet, I suggest you do it. It's pretty cool. You can go to toastmasters.org, learn more about Toastmasters. But what's the first step you should take if you're going to write a book? Well, it's actually a few steps, but I'm going to call this setting the stage. Setting the stage before any rock star goes out there and puts on an amazing performance. Yes, Lewis. Yes, it is awesome. You're awesome too. Yes. I'm talking about. Woo woo. Before any rock star goes out there and puts on an amazing performance, they need to set the stage. They need to know who's out there in the audience. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to play some country music in front of a crowd of headbangers. That probably won't go over very well. I'm pretty sure it won't. You could try it, but maybe it might work. But the point is, you want to set the stage. And what I'm talking about there, when you're considering you're writing a book, is number one, think about why are you writing this book to begin with? Why are you writing this book? Are you doing it to generate revenue? Is that your main driver? Are you doing it to raise your status, raise your influence? Maybe you're doing it to share your thoughts or ideas with your friends, your family, record some of your personal history. Maybe you're doing it for a project, self-reflection, or maybe you're doing it to help others learn or grow in that experience. So you define what that is. Thank you for the share. I appreciate that. And I question you, are you considering writing a book? If so, what would you consider writing about? Now that's another part of setting the stage. So you want to define, why do I want to write a book? And why is that important? Because a lot of the times the things that drive us to complete something is a really compelling why. We need to have a really compelling why to be able to take massive action and complete things. If we're doing it because somebody else is doing it and I said, might as well. Well, chances are you're probably not going to be able to finish that endeavor because your why isn't strong enough. So you need to determine why it is you want to write this book and have some emotion and some power behind that. Once you get that locked down, you want to say, okay, what am I going to write about? What am I going to write about? And the boot camp that I'm putting on, thank you. The boot camp that I'm putting on, I'm talking to speakers, professional speakers, novice speakers, starting speakers, people in Toastmasters. And they're sharing stories, they're sharing their personal stories, they're sharing stories that they've heard before. And you know what? Your life is full of stories and experiences. I know it is. And what you're going to think about is what experiences in my life could either give someone some pleasure or perhaps move them away from pain. So you either want to help bring someone towards pleasure or move them away from pain. And that's really what we're looking to do. And we're looking to do that in an entertaining manner with our life stories. So once you can think about your knowledge, your experiences, you'll need to choose something. You'll need to choose your topic. What are you going to write about? So it may be an interest that you have. If you know me, you know I like music. It could be writing about music. It could be writing about being creative. So that could be anything from gardening. It could be cooking in the kitchen. It could be creating games for your kids, or being creative out there in the dating scene. There's people who've done some really cool books on various topics, and they use their experiences, their funny stories, their challenges, their successes, and they teach other people what they've learned. And you can do this by defining what do you want to talk about. So if you're considering writing a book, and you should be, comment in. What would you consider writing about? I'd love to know. What's something that you would like to share with other people? Some expertise. Maybe it's professional expertise. Maybe it's your experience in finances. Or maybe you have experience with law. Or maybe it's more from a personal side. Maybe you went through a challenge in your life and you had to learn how to overcome it. Maybe you had an addiction problem and you needed to learn how to overcome it. Or maybe you learned how to harvest the power of your mind and you want to share that with other people. And you may be thinking, well, there's already books out there that have these topics. That's okay, because they're not going to have your experiences or your perspective on it. And when you share your experiences and perspective with people that can relate to you and they trust you, you can help transform their lives. So we're continuing to set the stage, helping people get over the fear of rapidly changing technology. That's a great book, my friend. That is a really great idea, because I would say a good chunk of the world is in that fear right now. I mean, I felt like I had a stronger grasp on digital marketing 10 years ago than I do today, because it's exploding exponentially. I still have a good pulse on it, but I don't know every app that there is on digital marketing. Or once, if you just knew SEO, web design, pay-per-click, newsletter marketing, then you were good to go pretty much. Now it's exploded, and every day all these apps are changing and all the algorithms are changing. It's really hard to keep up with it. And that's just in the marketing end. Then you can have your TV hacked. What the heck? People are freaking out. They're afraid to buy TVs. People are afraid to use their phones to buy things. You know, the little, I don't know, drawing a blank on what it's called. We could put your little phone up to the checkout. Tap and pay, whatever. Anyway, so that's a great book. And you can talk about an idea. You could talk about some of the different challenges people have had to overcome in the past, and kind of point out that we've all throughout history had to go through amazing changes, and that's just part of the process. Apple Pay. There you go. Thank you. And you can share some of your personal experiences, your challenges, some of your personal successes and victories. And then at the end, you want to have a transformation. So you want someone to pick up this book and entice them of, this is what I'm going to teach you. This is the things I'm going to tell you about. And then you're going to share your stories and your experiences. That looks weird when I'm doing that. I'm going to stop. You're going to share your stories and experiences. And then at the end, you want to have transformed their mind, give them a paradigm shift in the brain, and then have a takeaway or a call to action. Thank you very much. I see the little thumbs up going across the screen. A call to action that you want them to take on so they can move forward with their lives and be enlightened from the experiences and the knowledge that you gave them. The cool thing is, there's a really easy way to write a book with today's technology and make it really fun in the process. A lot of the times people go about doing it the hard way, and they start trying to type away this big manifesto, and they get overwhelmed, and they start picking it apart, and then they don't actually get it done. Has anyone ever tried writing a book before and then didn't get all the way through? I know I did that twice before I actually wrote a book. I tried to write one when I was 18. I got 20 pages in. It was a fiction book. Didn't get anywhere. Then, hello, I see some people on. If you're on, feel free to chat in and say, hey, I'm chatting in from fill in the blank, wherever you're chatting in from. And so, and likes are appreciated, by the way. Likes and hearts, I love them. They make me happy. And they make kittens dance. I'm pretty sure they do. So, we have these ideas for books. 18 years old, wrote 20 pages. 28 years old, 10 years later, I wrote 0 pages, didn't even get started on the book. And then almost 10 years later, I actually wrote my first book, co-authored it, and I've gotten great feedback from it. And I tell you, to me, that's one of the biggest rewards, is when I can hear back from somebody that they've read the book, that it helped them overcome an obstacle, it helped them grow a part of their business, it helped them expand their mind, their dreams, their bold vision, and I can see it in their eyes, and I can feel it in my heart. That is one of the coolest things ever. And I've had people, luckily at this point, around the world share that feedback with me. And man, I'm like, everyone should write a book. Everyone should do it. I really think it's a good part, even if your book is only sold to a few people and it was just a process for yourself to grow. You should do it. But we're talking about here generating revenue through a book. Now, if we're going to do that, we need to have a little bit of a different strategy. We need to be thinking with the end in mind. I think I've got the book right here. I don't. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, right here. So this is a cool book. Renowned Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of the Highly Effective People. He talks about starting with the end in mind. So if you're an expert in something, or if you have knowledge that you can help someone gain pleasure or move away from pain, then you want to think about, what is the next step? What is something else that you can offer them that they could benefit from? And the cool thing is, if you don't have your own business, if you don't have your own product, you don't need to have it. You just need to know about it. So if, let's say you're a beautician, you can write a book on beauty, about self-acceptance, about techniques and foods to keep your skin nice and natural, and then you can maybe sell a product that's already out there, like the Rogan Fields skincare line or something like that. You could do that, or if you have your own product, you could sell your own product or your own service. Or if you don't have one, you don't want to sell someone else's, you can create one. You can do that too. It's all in your capabilities. If you're using a smartphone, you have the capabilities to do this. There are teenagers who have made themselves millionaires. I'm pretty sure you can do this. So we're talking about setting the stage and thinking about, what can I use this book to help someone have a transformation in their life, help enlighten them in a certain area, and then what will be the next step once I've helped them there. If they want to take the next step, is there some sort of product, some sort of service, some sort of organization that they can join, something that they could do on the next step? Because it's not a secret, most people who write a book and sell it, unless they're like one of the small top percentage of people, they're not going to make a lot of money selling a book. They've got to generate revenue through using a book as a marketing tool to get people to know more about them, more about how they can help them, etc. But you can sell the book. You can definitely sell the book, and you can make some extra side money. You sell the book, you pair it with some other books, maybe a calendar that you created, maybe a journal you can create. Now you got a nice little bundle. So a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. So we're setting the stage. We're thinking about, what knowledge do I have? What experiences in my life do I have? What is the next step that they can take? And then, who am I talking to? Am I talking to people like me in my persona? Am I talking to people in a certain demographic, a certain age, certain gender, certain other demographics, whether it's, their profession, their education, etc. When you know who you're talking to, you can create a book that speaks directly to them. It's going to be more effective. For instance, if you're going to teach people who are kids, you want to teach kids about, how to have values as a kid and self-worth, you're going to have different language than if you're speaking to Fortune 500 CEOs, right? You wouldn't talk in the same language. So you want to know who you're going to speak to. And those are the primary things you need to set the stage. Primary things you need to set the stage is, what is your goal? Why are you doing this? What are you going to talk about? How are you going to help people? What's the next step you want them to take? Who are you going to be speaking to? And are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? So a lot of people think about things that they want to do, but then they don't take the action. They don't take the next step. And they put it on the to-do list. Life happens, and it doesn't always get done. But I found it very rewarding, and I think you would too. I challenge you, go ahead, do it this year. It's your year. Make this year awesome. Take advantage of this time. Now, if you made it all the way to the end, I'd say, oh, thank you, thumbs up. Thank you, thumbs up. If you made it all the way to the end, I didn't see who that was. Feel free to chat in if you're joining in. I just saw a little thumb go, but for some reason I'm not seeing who's on here. But you can go to kennyharper.rocks and you can subscribe to my newsletter. I'm developing a program that's going to be able to give you some guidance, and it's going to include the steps to go through that I'm talking about now, plus some marketing strategies, things to include while writing the book. But the cool thing is I'm sharing a lot of this information for free, but I'm sharing the actual tools and the toolkit and some downloads and some journals that you can use if you're interested in that and taking the next step. So I've already done a few posts thus far. If you haven't checked them out, go ahead and check them out. If you haven't liked me yet on Facebook, I have a new page I just created the end of last year, facebook.com/Kenny Harper. I think it's kenny.harper.rocks. I don't have many fans yet because I just created the page. But feel free to go there because I'm trying to transition people that I'm doing business stuff with over there. As I have the bold vision to empower 100,000 entrepreneurs to thrive in their life, using their unique gifts, following their true passion, and serving their higher purpose. So if you want to thrive in life using your unique gifts, following your true passion, and serving your higher purpose, tune in to the frequency, and let's make this happen together. We can definitely fuel each other's fire. And the next session, I'm going to go over step number 2 of this process of creating your book, using your stories and your knowledge into a revenue generating book. You can generate revenue, you can generate a lot of revenue, and you can have fun doing it and help people out all over the world. Have fun with life, make it awesome, make it count. Again, if you already have a book or are working on a book, go ahead and comment it in. If you have any questions or if you'd like other things to be included in some upcoming sessions, feel free to chat that in. Again, I highly appreciate your support. Just getting started on this new venture in this new year. Continuing to rock People's Image in 2017, taking it to the next level, getting ready to go on world tour, and I thank you guys for your support and encouragement. It means a lot to me. Let's rock on. Cheers.